After I put out my Tyler iceberg, a lot of you had asked me to do a ranking video on him as well. Because I knew damn well this sexy son of a bitch was putting out an album this year, I decided to wait for that album to be out. And let's just say I made the right choice. Cause leaving Call Me If You Get Lost out of this video would have been a terrible mistake. Without further ado, let's jump right into the ranking. This is just my opinion. If you don't agree, that is totally fine. Stop telling me to kill myself. It hurts my feelings.
Okay, now what about your lyrics?
What about them?
What are you saying in your lyrics?
Nothing. Shit to piss old white people off like you.
So Goblin unfortunately takes number 7 on this list. The album has amazing songs like She, Yonkers, Fish, Nightmare, and more. But for every good song on this album, there is just some that don't stand the test of time. And I'm not even referring to the language. Just seeing how much Tyler has progressed in his career, this album does not hold up well.
He's stupid.
The production is a little messy, which was an early staple of his work with the synths, pianos, and more. This album is credited with sending Tyler, not Future, to stardom, and I would say that's a fair assessment. The album went gold, Tyler won Best New Artist at the MTV Awards the same year, and it was a stepping stone between Bastard and Wolf. I would say my favorite thing about this album, and honestly all of Tyler's albums in general, is that it shows exactly where he was at the time in his life. He was still an immature teenager who was starting to get famous, and I think that album captured that perfectly. My least favorite thing about this is honestly probably Tyler's rapping. This might sound weird, but I feel like his rapping on Bastard was way better than it is here. Songs like Radical, Sandwiches, Bitch Suck Dick don't have the best performances in my opinion, and yes, I know that Bitch Suck Dick is a parody, but compared to Trash Wing, a better parody. While I don't think Goblin is a bad album, it's definitely far from Tyler's best, but we have to remember the context. He was 19 to 20 years old when this thing came out, and the fact that he produced almost every song on it is such an amazing feat that very few people can say. It's like a 5 out of 10. Here's a tracklist ranking. Alright, what's next?
Oh, and for the record, some girl gonna come up to me today and say, Jesus this, Jesus that. Bitch, you never met Jesus, okay? You never met him. You don't know what the nigga breath smell like. You don't know if his babes is real. How you gonna tell me something he said when you ain't never even heard something he said?
For a first album, Bastard is impressive as hell.
Whoa.
I can't say that about my first album. Little self-promo, if you were to listen to my first album, these are the songs that hold in my opinion. What were we talking about? Oh, Bastard. So this album is pretty good. We have an 18-year-old Tyler who really just wants to piss everybody off.
Nice.
He's sad about his dad, and he calls him some mean names. The intro to this album has some super eerie chords and synths that became a staple of Tyler's work. It has Odd Future all over it, of course, and the production value on this thing is really good. I would say it might be even better than Goblin. The beats are really interesting. The drums sound great on songs like Toddlers, Blow, and AssMilk, to name a few. Tyler's performances are also great, with his standout being Inglorious in my opinion. Some of the beats are a little annoying. Songs like 7, Parade, and Tina have some clunky production, but I think it's kind of intentional, so I don't really think it's a bad thing. I love how he curses out Two Dope Boys and Nah Right. Two Dope Boys would be lucky to have Tyler on their side, considering they're not a mainstream hip-hop media outlet. Those stupid hip-hop Twitter accounts are more known than this dead blog. And Nah Right is basically non-existent, which is amazing. Overall, Bastard is an amazing introduction to Tyler, and I think the potential was clear. Sure, the language hasn't aged well, but that's the majority of Tyler's work so far. Regardless, I think this record is fucking dope. I give it a 6 out of 10. Here's the tracklist ranking. Now onto the controversial pick.
Shout out Ice Cube. I watched the NWA movie, and just to know that nigga was young and just really smart about his shit and was writing a screenplay in his spare time instead of fucking around. And to just see how that turned into what he is
I'm
now
glad
is
you
so
said that,
fucking
man,
cool.
because Ice Cube doesn't even like you. Y'all stick around y'all radios, man. We got Tyler, the Creator, up in here. Big boy.
Everybody hates this album for whatever reason. Personally, I've always thought it was sick. The production on this album is so fun and the most experimental we saw up until that point. The hard guitars on Death Camp, the beautiful strings and harmonies on Find Your Wings, and the slow jam feel of Otago, California. Fuck, it's gorgeous.
Oh, that's hot.
Tyler's lyrical content on this album is interesting too. I love this line. One thing I've always appreciated from artists like Tyler, Vince Staples, and Lil Yachty is how they've always been very open about their influences and what inspired them. As a kid, I was so scared to tell my friends that Lil Wayne inspired me more than Tupac, but now as an adult, I say those things wholeheartedly, like Tyler, the Creator, has been my biggest influence in music. Over Eminem, over Biggie, over everyone.
I rep Brooklyn all day. They killed Biggie.
The song Run is one that often gets overlooked. Meanwhile, Tyler drops some awesome bars on it. I think people don't love this song because of the weird beat and the pitched up vocals, but it's a great song with a great message. Songs like Cherry Bomb, Blow My Load, and Keep the O's have some clunky production, but I believe it's all intentional. This album currently sits perfectly in the middle of Tyler's discography. Bastard, Goblin, and Wolf being the first half, Flower Boy, Igor, and Call Me If You Get Lost being the latter half, with Cherry Bomb working as the middle point in between all of them. I think Cherry Bomb is a mix of Tyler's entire career thus far. The eerie synths of Bastard, the wild nature of Goblin, the matured production on Wolf, the coming of age of Flower Boy, the beautiful harmonies and hooks of Igor, and the great lyrical content of Call Me If You Get Lost. People want to talk about how much they love these 3 albums, but don't want to admit that they wouldn't have gotten them without this beauty. Put some respect on its name. 7 out of 10. Here's the tracklist ranking, now my personal favorite. Okay, so I'm editing the video literally right now, and I realized when I finished watching the Cherry Bomb section that I didn't talk about Smuckers. So to avoid crucifixion, I'm gonna talk about Smuckers. So it gives off like that really lo-fi like beat instrumental, which is really fucking cool. Tyler's rapping is great. It honestly, like, I could have seen this song on Call Me If You Get Lost, like, looking in retrospect. Like I said before, like, it's a mix of all of Tyler's albums. I can literally see that. So you could take Smuckers and put it on Call Me If You Get Lost. I can honestly see that with no issue. Tyler's verses are great. The voice Watkins is awesome. The horns, the piano was awesome. Kanye's verse is great. Him and Wayne go fucking off on this song. Wayne fucking kills it. His intro in the second half, the 1, 2, 3, 4, hold your fucking horses, and Tyler starts rapping, and then Wayne comes in. It's beautiful. The lighter flick, yeah, it's honestly, I don't know what I ranked it at number 2. That's fair, because I really do like Fucking Young a lot. But it's easily number 2. That's the second best song on this album. Okay, I just wanted to make that clear. I can't believe I didn't write that in the fucking script. All right, number 4 is Wolf. We already knew that.
Badass bitch. Big ass titties, man. Got fucking AK size of a fucking minivan. Woo!
So, it's no secret that Wolf is my personal favorite Tyler album. Some people don't seem to understand the difference between best and favorite. If this album was ranked in my personal favorites, it would look like this. But that's not what this video is. It's me trying to look at the music for what it is and judge them on that, regardless of my personal feelings.
That's my opinion!
Wolf was the first Tyler album I heard when I was 13, and by this point, my daily rotation consisted of stuff like Kendrick Lamar, Pearl Jam, Britney Spears, and Alice in Chains. I'm not kidding, seriously. I cannot make that up. But then this big-eared fuck released this album and changed my life forever. There honestly isn't anything I dislike about this album, so let's just jump into it. The intro is gorgeous. Only Tyler could make these lyrics sound pretty. This album goes through constant mood swings, going from angry on Cowboy to lovey-dovey on Awkward, fucking crazy on Domo 23, and depressed on Answer, in that order. Yet the narrative of this album is never broken and never becomes inconsistent. Every song still blends together to make one cohesive body of work. The production is so much better from Goblin, utilizing samples in beautiful ways, being very well composed and structured. This is where that very pretty style that came to be associated with Tyler comes from. Songs like Slater, Beamer, and Treehouse 95 all include these beautiful strings and unique sounds. I think the overall feeling of this album is dissatisfaction. While Tyler describes Cherry Bomb as his metaphorical puberty, I would argue that the start of that puberty was on Wolf. Tyler seems confused, lost, not content with his public image. My personal favorite song on here is Rusty. That's my favorite Tyler verse ever. I'll just play the part I love the most. I think that verse sums up the meaning of this album so well. I adore this album and revisit it quite often. I gotta try to cop the vinyl, so if you know anywhere where I can get a US copy, let me know. 8 out of 10. Here's the tracklist ranking. The next one's gonna be fun. I was really stuck whether to rank this one at number 2 or number 3. After a couple of re-listens of Tyler's discography, I decided to rank it at number 3. But that's not a bad thing by any means. Call Me If You Get Lost is awesome. This album is fun, braggadocious, and mature. Listening to Bastard, then listening to this, proves Tyler's growth and development not only as an artist, but as a person as well.
You're gay!
From the first song on the record, Tyler makes it clear what's in store. Cookie crumbs in the rolls, jet fuel scented vests, swim trucks in the trunk, Geneva water the best. Off this line alone, I think we get our full idea of the album. Tyler's life is pretty perfect, and that's inspiring. Tyler is predictably unpredictable, and honestly, this is not the album I was expecting to follow IGOR. But Tyler had said after doing all of that with IGOR, he really wanted to just rap, and his rapping has improved tremendously, even from songs like What's Good.
Nerd.
We get beautiful production on this album. The horns from Sir Baudelaire sampled from West Side Gun's Michael Irvin. The grand horns on Lemonhead. The horns on Safari. I really like the horns, if you couldn't tell. That video of Tyler playing the keys for Sweet shows how far he's come with his production. That shit is so beautiful. The background vocals on this album cannot go unnoticed. The ooze on Fishtails. Ty Dolla $ign on What's Your Name. That shit is angelic. And the harmonies on I Thought You Wanted to Dance. I feel myself ascending. Tyler really comes with bars on this one too, like on Corso when he says,
pull up in that, whatchamacallit. Played a couple demos at Madison Square Garden. And tell them motherfuckers that Sony I'm not calling. I'm plotting on the Billy Chili in my gullet. Yeah.
or on Massa when he says, and on Rise when he says,
why you feel with terror whenever you in my presence? Is it cause we look just alike and need to set it? I will never lose any sleep, I'll never sweat it. And I'll always be ahead of you, nigga, don't you forget it.
fuck, these strings on Rise are so fucking crazy. This part with Daisy World gives me chills every time I hear it. There are a ton of great one-liners too, like on Manifesto and on Hot Wind Blows. The Blessed skit is truly so inspiring, and considering I basically grew up beside Tyler, it's so beautiful to see how far he's come, and I can't wait to see how much farther he goes. Call Me If You Get Lost is like an 8 out of 10. Here's the tracklist ranking, now into the top 2.
And what's the song you're doing tonight from the album? Would you like to know? Because I know.
Oh, 911.
Flower Boy was a shocking album. I think I speak for every Tyler fan when I say that. It was just so unexpected.
What a twist!
In the eyes of morons, his last album flopped and he wasn't very personal on it with the exception of a few songs. He wouldn't drop an insanely personal album that reveals a total 180 in his personality, would he? Oh yes, he would. And he did. And it's gorgeous. As tradition for the ranking videos, for the last 2, I'm gonna go through each track individually.
Dude, I love this album more than I love myself! Dude.
So the rollout for this album was an interesting one. For context, about a month before the album was released, Tyler put out Who Dat Boy and 911 Mr. Lonely, alongside the music video for Who Dat Boy and the short visuals for 911. Less than 2 weeks later, Tyler released Boredom, but the day before that, the album was leaked, and holy shit, the headlines. For those who don't know, you couldn't escape all the articles about Tyler coming out on this album. Like the good boy I am, I waited patiently for the album to come out, and yeah, this album is pretty gay.
Gay.
Let's jump in with Forward. The album starts with Tyler asking us questions. Off the bat, this is a very different approach for Tyler, not just lyrical content, but the sound as well, truly not sounding like any of his past production. Before we know it, Rex Orange County comes in with this beautifully tragic hook. The second verse starts, and Tyler is still asking a lot of questions. He's concerned about his longevity in music, he's concerned about becoming a slave to his craft. And then the outro even asks, if I don't come back, who's gonna know? It was such a shocking way to open the album, and like the others, sets the tone perfectly. On Where This Flower Blooms, we get this beautiful instrumental with strings and keys, accompanied by the angelic vocals of the one and only Franklin Ocean.
Where is the album? We need the damn album.
We get these harsh yet sick drums that come in banging. Tyler talks his shit over these drums, telling these black kids to be who they are, keeping his hygiene good, making leave so his family can eat. A great fucking song. Sometimes there's a funny interlude with pretty piano in the back as Shane Powers yells at a caller. It's a great transition into See You Again.
Who the fuck is this nigga, bro?
One of, if not Tyler's most popular song, this banger has a gorgeous hook from Caliucci's and a great instrumental. Tyler's flow is fucking great with those MIDI strings in the back that go hard as fuck. Tyler had originally written this song for Zayn Malik, and oh my god, am I happy that did not happen. Who Dat Boy quickly contrasts from See You Again with the heavy subs and aggressive rapping from Tyler and Rocky. Those horror-like strings are the main takeaway from this instrumental. They both flow over this hard-ass beat with such ease. I also love that Tyler made this beat for Schoolboy Q and then called him out on Twitter for it. Pothole is one of the most underrated songs on this album, with more beautiful strings, sick drums, fun synths that are so classic. People hate on Jaden Smith's hook, but I love it. The man got so much swag, that shit is great. Tyler's lyrical content also shines on tracks like these.
Now listen!
That's called motherfucking boy!
That's called boy tipping!
He uses the metaphor of driving around obstacles to tell us where he feels stuck in life, saying to watch out for the potholes. I love the start to the second verse. That flow is so great, and I love the line about the boots. I don't know why. So Garden Shed is the first song where we start getting lyrics about Tyler's sexuality. The majority of this song is guitar, vocals here and there, distorted guitar, bass, and some synths. If it wasn't for the last minute of this song, this would basically be instrumental. But the last verse of this song is where we really get some of the most important subject matter of this album. He uses the analogy of being in the garden shed as being in the closet. The lines where he says, all my friends are lost, they couldn't read the signs, I didn't want to talk, tell them my location, didn't want to walk. Truth is, since a youth kid thought it was a phase, ought to be like the phrase poof, gone, but it's still going on. He even says sometimes how he only had sex with women just to brag to his friends about it, trying to ignore his feeling toward the same sex. It's extremely personal, it's beautiful, and from the past, extremely unexpected, but we love him regardless. Boredom is so chill and pretty, cool lo-fi guitars on the intro with Rex Orange County and Anna of the North serenading us. Tyler said that he tried to shut the fuck up on this album and never really waste a bar, and this song is the perfect example of that.
Oh my God, can you let me do what I need to do?
Tyler only takes up about just a minute of this 5-minute song. He lets Rex and Anna take the lead and the instrumental as well. It's really pretty, I like this line a lot. It's funny and relatable, cause God forbid my friends answer a fucking text. Another quick contrast as we go into I Ain't Got Time with 6 synths and loud ass subs. Tyler just raps his ass off over this fun fucking beat and drops funny lines like also another line about his sexuality saying the line before this is literally the next line will have him like whoa. After this we get one of the best songs on here, 911 Mr. Lonely. This instrumental is so fucking fun. The guitars, bass, synths, and subs. Steve Lacy's beautiful ass vocals cueing in the pretty keys. That gorgeous hook by Tyler and Anna of the North before Frank Ocean comes in with those synths. Fuck, it's so good. The track comes to an abrupt end with Tyler transitioning into the very personal latter half, Mr. Lonely, talking about how the only things keeping him company are his material possessions like his cars, not being able to find love, having everything he could have ever dreamed of but feeling so alone. Tyler every now and then will almost kind of brag about how he's not depressed, which is interesting because on Cherry Bomb he's saying how perfect life is, then he puts out 2 albums about how he's not feeling too great mentally, then another album about how life's perfect.
Shut the fuck up!
I wish the best for him, but he needs to understand there's nothing wrong with being depressed. Following that is Dropping Seeds, an interlude-ish type track coming in at just a minute long with Lil Wayne dropping bars for more than half of that and Tyler having a couple lines at the end. Nothing crazy, it's dope. Wayne kills it as always, his beat fits him perfectly. Track 12 is November, another personal favorite of mine. Tyler continues the theme of asking questions, starting the song by saying, asking himself what if he got stuck, what if he's too comfortable and loses everything he's worked so hard to maintain. He reminisces about simpler times using November as a metaphor as the great point in your life. There's a really beautiful interlude in the middle of the song where a couple of his friends consisting of Jasper, Taco, Kilo Kush, Clancy, Sid, Vince Staples, and Julian Consugra, whatever the fuck his name is, talking about their Novembers, their most significant moments in life. The second verse starts and seems to be about a distant friend or love interest of Tyler, saying he wrote a song about them and wants them to hear it, even saying if you don't answer, I'll just leave it as a message. It sets up the next song perfectly with Glitter. Glitter is so pretty and includes more of those sick pitched up auto-tune vocals. This song is obviously one of the main influences for IGOR's sound as well. There's a lot happening here instrumentally with bass subs, synths, clap drums, nice keys here and there, very pretty. The song itself is pretty good as far as lyrics go, nothing too deep, just some fun lyrics and cool flows. The second half of this song quite literally slows it down, pitching down the guitars and switching up to the clap drums. Tyler pitches down his voice to explain this relationship may not work out like a fat boy. The outro to this album is Enjoy Right Now Today, an instrumental track that's very hard for me to put into words. It works really, really well as the outro. Tyler allows the music to speak for itself, to close the album with funky guitar riffs, punchy MIDI drums with some subs to accompany them. The middle of the track goes more loungy and incorporates some strings before transitioning into the latter half with nice Pharrell vocals, subtle synths, and increasing strings. The album quietly ends, leaving us with that title, Enjoy Right Now, Today. A beautiful outro to the album. Here's the tracklist ranking, 9 out of 10. Now onto the number 1 pick. IGOR is a very special album. After Flower Boy, Tyler's next album was anticipated by more people than ever. So did it deliver? No. It exceeded any and all kinds of expectations. I was in class when this album got announced, and the excitement I felt was fucking crazy. I listened to it the night it came out, and I couldn't turn it off for days. Earthquake and Gone Gone were my most streamed songs of 2019. The IGOR tour was my first Tyler concert. This album holds a very special place in my heart, and I think it serves as a milestone in contemporary music. The album starts with Igor's theme, mostly an instrumental track with background vocals from Tyler, Lil Uzi, and Solange. It starts with that loud, held-out sub before those drums come in, and fuck, dude. Right off the bat, you know you're in for a treat. The subtle strings and piano behind Uzi with that sub not going anywhere. Beautiful harmonies from Solange. A gorgeous piano section before that sub comes back with a new synth over it. It's so hype. As the piano and synths lead into Earthquake, you're still trying to process Igor's theme. The piano on this song is beautiful. We can see Tyler's perfecting of the pitched up vocals. His harmonies with Charlie Wilson and Blood Orange are so good, and this instrumental is so pretty. It's that sad song, yet all I want to do is shake my ass to it. The Cardi verse is amazing. Every time it comes up, my girlfriend goes, "You love this part." Yeah, cause this shit bumps! It was a collab I never knew I needed, and I just want more from these two. The song itself is repetitive but works. Tyler sings about his love interest who he depends on. He knows he hurt them, but he needs them. I think is a confusing track. Tyler loves this person, but doesn't know if it's the right feeling. He's vulnerable, and he's not sure if he should keep allowing himself to be vulnerable. He literally asks this person, "What the fuck is your motive?"
Hey yo, what the fuck?
The chorus constantly repeats itself with Tyler truly believing he's fallen in love, but isn't sure how to approach it. Like Earthquake before it, the keys are beautiful and the drums are so funky, the bridge is so much fun, and that sick dance break, I love it so much. The harmonies are great, the synths, it's a fun song, and I remember the whole section dancing to it. Boyfriend is next, and it brings back the high-pitched vocals that we got a lot on this album. It continues the themes of love, desperation, and some heartbreak sprinkled in with some of the lyrics. Charlie Wilson is back on this one with amazing vocals as always. This song was a physical exclusive to this album. I adore this trend. With Yellow, Boyfriend, and Fishtail, it adds a bit of excitement to know we're gonna get a little more from every album. Running Out of Time is great. Remember when everyone thought Frank Ocean was on this song? Simpler times. This song covers the inevitable yet unwanted split of Tyler and his partner and features some great lines like, this instrumental is synth galore. I love when the track slows down at the end with the snaps, and Tyler's verse is so great. New Magic Wand is a fucking banger. Tyler wants to make his ex's new partner disappear, whether it's by magic or, you know, murder. Come on, who isn't down for some good old-fashioned homicide?
I'm going to kill you and then kill you again.
Tyler's so jealous of this woman that he's willing to kill her if it means that he get his partner back, using a magic wand as an analogy for a gun, saying it'll make her vanish. People say they want the old Tyler back. Here it is. This beat is so hectic, those drums are infectious, that chorus. Tyler's delivery on this track is also fucking scary. I love it so much. People shit on his Grammy performance of this song, and that's bullshit. That shit was so hard.
Fuck is y'all talking about? Me, you die for fuck is y'all talking about?
Following the gun theme, the next song is appropriately titled A Boy Is a Gun. On here we see Tyler using the analogy to compare his partner to having a gun. It's dangerous, but he wants it nonetheless. We see the tables turn here. Until this point in the album, Tyler was usually taking a submissive role in the relationship, but on A Boy Is a Gun, Tyler is telling his partner to make up their fucking mind and telling them to just leave. And Tyler finishing that song very abrasively, telling this person to stay the fuck away from him. Puppet is another interesting song. Tyler had said in an interview you can compare this first verse to any kind of addiction, which makes perfect sense considering the song is about a controlling relationship, doing whatever it is the person you're with wants you to or doesn't want you to. At the end of the last verse, Tyler literally asks if this is his freedom or his partner's. The Kanye vocals fit in so well, and as much as I like this song, it's not the best song on the album. I'm looking at you, Timmy. The drums on this song are so punchy, the guitar and bass are so jazzy and smooth. A really pretty and sad song. What's good is one song off IGOR where Tyler raps the whole time and this man goes off. His vocals are muffled, the synths are distorted, the drums are fucking crazy, and Tyler drops great fucking lines here. The visuals for this song are also hilarious. I have no idea what the fuck is going on here, but I love it. Gone Gone Thank You is probably my personal favorite song on the album. We'll split it to make things easier. Gone Gone has this extremely eccentric beat with punchy drums and samples Hey Girl by Cullen Amori. This is the definitive perfection of pitched up autotune. Tyler's vocals here are amazing alongside CeeLo Green's. His breakdown right before the third verse is fucking amazing. I can't help but dance, I love it so much. The The third verse features some of Tyler's best lyrical content yet, with a great delivery and flow. I'm particularly fond of this line. Thank You is so beautifully heartbreaking, with such a beautiful fluttery instrumental accompanied by hard-hitting lyrics consisting of Tyler thanking his ex for the love, the joy, their time, their mind, but saying how after all of this, he never wants to fall in love again. As short as it is, it fucking hits. After this, in my opinion, is the most underrated song on the album, I Don't Love You Anymore. At first sight, this appears to be Tyler finally getting over his ex. As it goes on, we see that he's just really lying to himself. He claims to be completely over the breakup, yet he's still kinda chasing the relationship. The beat here, while seeming simplistic, is really lo-fi and has great guitar parts. Another sad song where Tyler just can't be honest with himself. The album ends with Are We Still Friends? And this is how you close an album. A grand instrumental, great vocals and ad-libs, the guitars, holy shit. The way the song slows down, takes a pause, and it comes back harder. The outro sees Tyler, after all the trials and tribulations of love, wanting to still keep his ex in his life. He can't stand to imagine his life without this person in it, whether they're in a relationship or just friends. This is a lot of people's favorite song, and I totally get why. My girlfriend loves this line of the second verse. It's a perfect ending, and it also loops right back into IGOR's theme, restarting the cycle, which is fucking genius.
How'd you get so smart?
With all that being said, here's the tracklist ranking. IGOR is easily a 10 out of 10. Now a more personal message to Tyler himself. You've been my biggest inspiration in music since I was 13, and I'll forever be in your debt. Your music changed my fucking life, and the inspiration didn't stop there, clearly. You're predictably unpredictable, and I'll forever be my favorite thing about you and your art. So thank you, Tyler, for everything. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry my upload schedule sucks between work, school, and my new puppy. Working on videos has been fucking hard, but I'll try to upload more. Also, leave video recommendations in the comments, and I'll see you next time.